So, something we've been saying for the longest time, since before the referendum, and throughout that up until now. Look, guys, leaving the EU and getting these free trade deals will not offset leaving the EU. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. And this is proving more and more and more by the day as time has gone on. Even the government's own analyses have shown that. So, this comes from the BBC, and this came out on the 11th of December, that free trade deals won't offset leaving the EU. Post-Brexit trade deals will not make up for the economic damage inflicted on the UK from leaving the EU, analysis for the BBC Newsnight have shown. Independent trade experts from the UK Trade Policy Observatory looked at the likely three impacts of a US, Australian and New Zealand free trade deals. They found that even combined, new tariff-cutting agreements will likely to boost the UK economy by just 0.4%. A simple free trade deal would also depress the economy, the think tank said. The body said that moving from the full EU membership to a single deal with our closest trading partner, the objective enshrined in Boris Johnson's withdrawal agreement, would depress the size of the economy by at least 1.8%. And remember, this is their being conservative about it. Overall, they're being shown bigger numbers by the government themselves on how damaging this leaving the EU will be. A Conservative spokesperson said the Prime Minister's fantastic deal makes it clear that we will have a future relationship based on free trade and friendly cooperation. By striking trade deals around the world, we'll create new and exciting opportunities for British businesses. The Conservative manifesto claims that free trade deal is the best way to increase export, cut prices, and increase investment. So the upshot from this analysis is that there is no one realistic prospect for new trade deals with other countries, even the ambitious deals touted by ministers offsetting the economic hit from Brexit itself. Moving to an EU free trade deal and striking a new free trade agreements with the US, Australia and New Zealand has estimated negative impact on the UK economy by 1.4%. This equates to about 28 billion or £1,000 per household. The results from this study, which is based at the University of Sussex, also show that moving to a free trade deal with the EU is beneficial overall for the UK agriculture and food processing sector due to reduced competition from continental farmers. But the benefit is wiped out as if the US, Australian and New Zealand trade deals slash import tariff and quotas, resulting in a surge of agricultural imports. Johnson, in the common statement presenting his Brexit withdrawal agreement, said on the 19th of October, for the first time in almost 5 decades, the UK will be able to strike free trade deals with our friends across the world, benefiting the country as a whole, including Northern Ireland. But Newsnight understands that internal UK government impact assessments show that in fact only the South East will benefit from a US, Australian and New Zealand trade deals, and the rest of the country will see negative consequences. Northern Ireland, its sources say, is particularly badly affected due to its agricultural industry being severely hit. The think tank used what is known as the political equilibrium trade model to look at the likely impact of the 184 individual UK industrial sectors slashing tariffs and non-tariff barriers. The professor leading the study said that he was surprised by the results. It's arithmetic, he said. Tariffs on many goods are already quite low, or zero, so there are no great gains from lowering them. Also, relative to how much trade we do with the EU, we do much less with the US, Australia and New Zealand, so the overall impact on output is now massive. It certainly does not offset the negative impact of leaving the EU. Further agreeing on removal of regulatory barriers will be difficult, as the EU has found in its negotiations with the US. The results are in line with the findings of the Treasury model exercised in 2018, which has estimated the benefit of any new trade deals would only be between 0.1 and 0.2% of GDP, a deficit dwarfed by the negative impact of leaving the EU's single market and customs union. Newsnight understands that the Department for International Trade has now completed fresh impact assessments of the US, Australia, and New Zealand trade deals, which show similar results to these findings. But these are not due to be published until after Brexit, what a surprise, and ahead of the publication of mandates for trade negotiators. Been selling you all along, but there you go.